If a woman ever tells you it feels good just to talk to you, and nothing more, don't relax. That's the exact sentence she uses on every man, right before she takes 7 days to kill him. October, somewhere in the mountains. Nighttime. A group of kids sat by the fire between their grandparents, warming their hands. Dada, tell us a story. The old man looked at them, amused. In an age where kids are glued to their phones, you're asking me for a story? Dada, we've heard every story the internet has. Tell us one of yours tonight. He thought for a moment and began. Kamlesh and Gomti had only been married a few weeks, but nothing between them had been right since the wedding. Constant fighting, constant tension. And that night, Kamlesh was driving her back to her parents' house. What now? Can't even drive the car properly anymore. Stop talking nonsense. I need to use the bathroom. He parked and disappeared into the bushes. Gomti sat in the car, muttering to herself. Idiot man. We just passed a hotel. Couldn't he have gone there? A few minutes later, Kamlesh climbed back in and turned the key. Why won't this start? Must be the cold. The engines seized up. Gomti's irritation only deepened. Spotting a house not far off, Kamlesh led her there instead. Who are you two, wandering out here? Ma'am, our car broke down. Could we stay until morning? Of course, come in quickly. It's not safe wandering around this late. The old woman ushered them inside. You two sleep in that room. Don't go back out tonight. Thank you, ma'am. But peace didn't last long once the door closed. This is all your fault. If you hadn't needed to use the bathroom, the engine wouldn't have gone cold. Kamlesh snapped back, and the argument escalated fast. By the time the old woman had drifted off to sleep, Kamlesh had already stormed out of the house. I'll just sleep in the car. Fighting. That's all she ever does. Muttering to himself, he walked on, and that's when he saw her. A woman, walking toward him with a slow, swaying grace, her figure becoming clearer with every step. A red sari that pooled at her ankles, pale skin, long hair drifting in the cold wind. The kind of beauty that could make an old man forget his age. She met his eyes as she passed, and without breaking stride, kept walking. There was something intoxicating about her, something Kamlesh couldn't name, and without thinking, he found himself following. Back at the house, guilt had started creeping into Gomti. I shouldn't have said all that. That was too far. She slipped quietly out of the room, her hand catching a chair in the dark. Who's there? What are you doing out of your room this late? Sorry, ma'am, we had a fight, and he stormed out. I'm going to look for him. The color drained from the old woman's face. I told you two not to leave that room. Come, quickly now. She led Gomti outside. There was no sign of Kamlesh anywhere, and Gomti's worry sharpened into fear as they walked, the old woman moving faster with every step, toward what looked like a cave in the distance. Ma'am, we'll find him, right? Why can't we see him anywhere? The old woman didn't answer, only quickened her pace. At the mouth of the cave sat a single shoe. Gomti froze. That's Kamlesh's shoe. Exactly what I was afraid of. The old woman pressed deeper into the cave, until both of them stopped dead in their tracks. The woman in red, the one who'd been so breathtaking only minutes earlier, now stood before them as something else entirely. Something monstrous. Dada. Who was that witch? The old man smiled faintly and reached for his tea. That's a story for another night, Beta. Let me tell you about something that happened much more recently instead. Vivek and Ranvijay had traveled to Kashmir to visit their old friend Mohit, and to finally see the valley everyone talked about. Mohit was waiting for them right at the bus stop. You made it. I've missed you two so much. He brought them home to meet his wife, Shruti. They spent the whole evening over dinner, catching up on years of missed time, and the next 3 days were spent exploring every corner of the valley together. On the third morning, Mohit sighed. I hate leaving you two to fend for yourselves, but I've got to get back to work. 3 days off was already pushing it. Go, man. Don't worry about us. We'll explore on our own. Vivek and Ranvijay spent the day wandering the city alone and made it back by 4 p.m. That evening, Ranvijay turned to Vivek. I'm going to step out for a smoke. Coming? Nah. I'm exhausted, you go ahead. Ranvijay set off down the long lane toward the shop, hands in his pockets against the cold. God, it's freezing out here. How does anyone get used to this? People who live here have no choice but to get used to it, a voice answered. Ranvijay turned. A beautiful woman with long hair, wrapped in a deep blue sari, stood waiting at the bus stop. You're right about that, I guess. She didn't respond. What's your name, by the way? Why? What difference would it make to you? Right then, a bus pulled up. She smiled at him and stepped on without another word. Ranvijay stood there a beat too long, then checked his phone. 6:30 p.m. Maybe she comes here every day at this time. The next evening, Ranvijay showed up early, 6 p.m. sharp, determined to get her name. She appeared right on schedule, smiling the moment she spotted him, and walked over to wait beside him. How are you today? Still trying to get my name out of me, huh? Look, don't take this the wrong way, but I genuinely enjoy talking to you. I'm not sure why. Talking or something more? She laughed. By the way, you asked my name yesterday. It's Devika.
I'm Ranvijay.
I don't actually have anywhere to be tonight, she said. I mostly just came to see if you'd show up again. They walked together as she spoke, and Ranvijay found himself completely absorbed, matching her step for step, deeper into the tree-lined path beside the road. She never said much about herself, but she asked endless questions about his life, his family, his childhood. By the time he snapped back to himself, he was standing alone in the woods. Wait, how did I get here? I was just with Devika. He shook it off, walked home, and realized with a start it was already 8 p.m. For the next 2 days, the exact same thing happened every single time. And by the 4th day, something had shifted in his body. A weakness he couldn't shake, deep in his bones. That 4th evening, before she could vanish into another conversation, he stopped her. Devika, I need to ask you something. Every day I meet you, and every day I lose time talking to you. And when I come back to myself, I'm standing right back at this bus stop with no memory of the last 2 hours. Her expression darkened instantly. What exactly are you trying to say? That I'm putting some kind of dark magic on you? I'm not saying. I have to go. If you want to see me tomorrow, come find me. I do genuinely enjoy talking to you. That's all this ever was. She walked away before he could answer. That night at dinner, Vivek finally said something. Ranvijay, man, what's going on with you? You're getting thinner by the day. You disappear every evening without a word, and you don't come back for hours. Fine, I might as well tell you both. There's a girl, Devika. We've been meeting up. Oh, so it's a girl thing, Mohit laughed. Who is she? We meet at the bus stop every evening. We talk. A lot. Shruti looked at Mohit, something tightening in her face. Does she ever lead you off into the forest somewhere? Ranvijay blinked, surprised. Yeah, she does. How did you know that? Does something strange happen to you while you're with her? Something you can't explain afterward. Very strange, actually. Every day I follow her, we talk, and then I lose time completely. I end up deep in the trees, and when I come to, I'm back at the bus stop with no memory in between. Mohit checked the back of his neck. Any marks? Mohit checked. 2 small puncture marks, side by side. There it is. 2 marks. Like something bit him. Shruti's voice went quiet. This is exactly what we were afraid of. Would somebody please just tell me what's actually going on with me? Kashmir is called heaven on earth for a reason, Shruti said carefully. These valleys, these mountains, no one who comes here ever wants to leave. But alongside all that beauty, there's a fear that's lived among these hills for generations. What kind of fear? They call her the Rantas. Like a witch, a hag, a demoness, every culture has some version of her, but ours lives specifically in the mountain caves. She takes the form of a beautiful woman to hunt young men, luring them in with the promise of love and connection. Over 7 days, she slowly drains their life force, and the victim never realizes what's happening, because the pull toward her feels too good to question. On the 7th day, She leads him to her cave, and that's where it ends. Vivek, Mohit, and Ranvijay all went pale. So she's going to kill me? Not if you never go near her again. But if he stops going, Shruti said, she'll come looking for him here instead. So what? You want me to walk my best friend straight into his own death? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you can kill her first through deception. That's the only way to protect yourself from something like this. Kill her? A witch how? Tomorrow, when you go to meet her, bring a dagger carved from sandalwood. The moment she's in front of you, drive it into the back of her neck. Sandalwood is the only thing that can end Arantas. The next evening, Shruti handed Ranvijay a small wooden dagger as he left. Be brave. You have to do this. I know. I have to. He tucked it into his jacket and headed for the bus stop, waiting. 25 minutes passed with no sign of her. Why isn't she here yet? Finally, Devika appeared, walking toward him. Oh, you're... Before she could finish, Ranvijay pulled the dagger from behind his back and drove it into her. He walked home shaking, visibly rattled. I did it. I ended that evil spirit. I killed a witch. And I don't feel right about any of it. What are you talking about? You just saved yourself. If you hadn't done it, she would have killed you, and countless men after you. Shruti's right, Vivek said. Just be careful from now on, Mohit added. If any woman ever tells you it feels good just to talk to you, and nothing more, you'll know exactly what she is. Ranvijay sat with that for a while, quiet. Then he stood. You're right. I did the right thing. I'm going to go smoke. He left again. Vivek turned to Mohit once he was gone. First time he ever visits Kashmir, and this happens to him. I doubt he'll ever want to come back here. Ranvijay came back at 10 p.m. Shruti was in the kitchen. 2 hours out there tonight. You sure you're not chasing another girl? She teased. He talked with them both for a while, and eventually everyone drifted off to their rooms for the night. Around 1 a.m., Vivek got up for a glass of water and found Shruti standing in the hallway. Bobby G, you're... She smiled at him. Her eyes lit up red. Her teeth and nails sharpened into claws, and in the space of a breath, her true form emerged. Before she could reach him, Ranvijay stepped out from the shadows and drove a dagger into her from behind. She collapsed, screaming, thrashing on the floor, staring up at all three of them in disbelief. You're wondering how we figured it out. Ranvijay knelt beside her, voice steady. You played it well. But the moment I heard you say the exact same line Devika always said, it feels good just to talk to you, that's all this is, I knew. Because that's a line only the real Rantas ever used with me. I never told either of them what she said. So the second Shruti Bobby said it, I knew whoever was in that kitchen wasn't really her. I left right then and went straight to a tantric. He told me the dagger you gave me wasn't real sandalwood at all. That's when it clicked. The real Devika comes to that bus stop every day at 5:30. You'd been showing up early, in her shape, pulling me away before she ever got the chance to arrive. That's why tonight, when I waited past 5:30 and you never came, the real one finally did, and I realized who'd actually been walking me into those woods every evening. The tantric gave me a real sandalwood dagger. I came home, saw you standing there as Shruti, told these two everything, and we let you walk right into your own trick. She let out one final, ear-splitting scream. And then nothing. Find Shruti now. She has to be here somewhere. They searched the house and found her, unharmed, locked inside the storeroom. The old man set his tea down. The fire had burned low, the kids staring at him wide-eyed. Dada, so the woman in the cave from your first story, and this Rantas, are they the same kind of thing? He smiled, the way people do when they know more than they're saying. Same kind, beta. Different faces. That's the thing about these mountains. The beauty and the danger have always worn the same expression. Now off to bed, all of you. It's getting late. She never needed magic to trap them. She just needed them to keep coming back for the way it felt to be listened to. If a stranger's attention feels a little too easy, a little too perfect, that's usually the first sign something's hunting you, not falling for you. If tonight's double story kept you by the fire till the end, hit subscribe. Next week. Dada tells the one story he swore he'd never tell the grandkids. Comment drop of blood. If you caught the exact line that gave Shruti away before Ranvijay explained it.